Hello, my name is Suzanne Deveau. I'm from Western Canada, and I am the co-host of the Suzanne and Sharon Let's Talk Business show. So I'm going to introduce you to my co-host, Sharon Parkinson. Sharon, take it away, please.
Hi, and I'm Sharon Parkinson from the UK, and our Let's Talk Business show is basically a way for us to showcase all of the people who are in OnPassive, who have a business that they want to grow using the products and services. So please stay tuned. We've got a really exciting guest on next, and that you'll get a feel for what this can do for you too. Hi, so today we have a guest called Andy Berks. He's a financial advisor from the UK. He's actually on the UK and Ireland leadership team along with my husband. So I don't know him very well, but I know him from my husband, and I've had lots of good reviews. So we're really looking forward to talking to you, Andy. Suzanne, would you like to say a few words?
Oh, absolutely. I as well. Years ago, I was a financial planner, and my brother is a financial planner. So I'm interested to see your take on how OnPassive is going to help, help that business, help that industry. So looking forward to it. So Andy, why don't we start off with basically, having the customers just roll in and phone you every day. That would be ideal. But let's just talk about your industry first. Let's say you've met someone and they're looking for help, and you're probably going to start with a financial overview. You need to know where they are so you can help them to go where they want to go. So tell us, please, about the journey of what a client would expect if they're dealing with you.
Okay, let me give you a little bit of background about me,
Sure.
because I think that kind of puts the things into a little bit more of perspective. I joined the industry in 1986, originally in the UK. I moved abroad in 92 to 94, went to South Africa and worked with Sunlum for a couple of years. Came back to the UK, went abroad again in 2000, and came back in 2016. And I did Dubai, Mexico, Holland, France, Germany, back to Dubai, Spain, Portugal, Bahrain, and Saudi, and then back to Spain. So
Why?
yeah, so and in the last 4 years, I suppose, we have just been dealing with what they class as pension transfers. So British expats move around the globe, and we help them transfer their pension. So certainly for the last couple of years, I've been working with a very close friend of mine, who's part of a company called West Fuller Advisors in New York, and we just deal with pension transfers for expats in the US.
Okay, then.
So,
So
so
that's
when
it's a nice niche to be in.
it is. So the process is fairly straightforward, to be fair. We get leads passed to us. We have a number of leads through advertising, etc. So we do a brief fact find call just to get an indication as to what's happening, what the client is looking for, why they want to move it, what they have at the moment. We obtain a letter of authority, which allows us to then access the information. And then we write reports, etc., put that in front of the client, go through things with them, at which point we complete a fact find. If the client then wants to go ahead, then great, we do all the relevant paperwork, but everything is virtual. Long gone are the days where I spent hours in front of clients traveling all around the bloody so yeah, most of it's done over phone. Funnily enough, we don't use Zoom calls very often, for ID purposes, sometimes for anti-money laundering, yeah, but apart from that, so it's fairly straightforward. So it's kind of a niche market, if you like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so from a client perspective, our advertising steers towards British expats in the US that are looking specifically they're coming up to retirement age. They want to know what the hell they can do with their pension. So it kind of lands on our lap.
So I have a
Bring on
great
from.
question for you then. Now the size of pensions must quite vary between clients, depending on right where they worked, who they worked for, and the amount of years they worked for that particular company. So are you coming across people that are finding their pensions not enough to get by, and on the other end, what's the variety of customers you get?
Um, this is a good one. While I was in Spain last, we were doing a lot of what they call QROPs, the Qualified Recognised Overseas Pension Schemes, which were allowable at that time. So clients in the UK had moved from the UK across to Europe. They were then moving their pensions outside of the UK and into a European system. And the average for most of those clients for the transfer values, so the total value of their pension was 80,000. Yeah,
Total value to live
total.
on for years.
Yes. So in other words, 5% of that, 4 grand a year.
Wow,
Yeah.
that
So,
is
and I,
poverty.
yeah, absolutely. We've in the Middle East, for instance, we were helping clients save towards their retirement or plan towards their retirement because it's a tax-free environment. So instead of spending the money or giving the money to the tax man, they were putting it away for themselves for retirement planning, and that was $1,000 a month type touch. So these guys were getting or building up a pot of $1 million, which is considerably different. Um,
Yes.
all of the clients that we've come across in the States, I would say the average in the States is probably 350, 400,000 plus.
Hmm.
It's a completely different market.
Hmm.
Um, the funny thing is, we're all part of OnPassive and this exciting journey. But for 20 years, I've offered regular savings for retirement planning, where people have had to put $1,000 away a month for 20 years. Yeah. To potentially get a pot of $1 million and then be able to draw from that pot. Whereas with OnPassive, you're talking about $97 and 1 month's subscription, and the income is far greater in a lot of instances than you're ever going to get
Yes.
from a
Eh,
retirement plan. It's
yes, and you're paid forever. So people just watching this for the first time, they may not know anything about OnPassive. So let's bring it back to you. Why would someone in the mortgage or in the financial industry, why would it help you in your particular business? Because not everyone has the niche that you have, but if we just look at the industry as a whole, why would OnPassive be good for those people, like as yourself and
okay.
others?
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, well, in the olden days, we used to cold call. So the only way we could obtain leads was to cold call. And once you've then got in front of people, you then get introductions or referrals.
Yeah.
Um, Everything has changed, particularly with the new data protection regulations, etc. So everything is moving across to advertising, where
Mhm.
and the reason I got involved in the first place was because I was looking to try and boost the number of leads that I could acquire for my business. um, and I wanted to try and put together the autoresponder with the sales funnel on the capture page and the advertising, and thought, oh my God,
Yeah.
this is going nuts. I can't get this, and I got rather confused. So I bought a load of books. I read the books. I got even more confused and thought, this is ridiculous. But the then when I came across this and thought, right, this is 100% fully automated, I'm in. And it didn't really matter at that point what the payment was. I wasn't interested in that. I was just thinking, automated, this is easy. I've got this. So I'm going to pay this premium, or this small amount of money, £75, which is a night out in a pub, to become part of something that was then going to automate this process for me. Perfect, absolutely perfect. So taking it one stage further, you've then got this opportunity to for the company to tailor make your advertising for you, because it's all fully automated and AI driven. But it's not just advertising like we know of with the Google a pay per click, or Facebook pay per click, which is haphazard at best. This is specific targeted traffic. Oh my God, for my industry, um, you've got clients all the time looking for things. All they want is they want someone to be able to talk to. If you then become at the top of the search engine every time because we've got search engine optimization, or they click on an advertisement and it gets put straight through to you because the AI is doing this for you, it becomes a no-brainer. Everybody in this industry, and without exception, everybody in this industry is looking for more clients to talk to. And there
Absolutely.
are, yeah,
Oh,
and there
sorry.
are millions. If you go into Dubai, for instance, Dubai has somewhere in the region of about 350,000 expats. There are 2,500 advisors, right? And most people don't like being called. So what's the next best thing? The next best thing is specific targeted traffic. They look for something. I want an advisor to do this. It's like shelling peas. It's it's not
Yes.
no longer you're offering a full service at the end of the day, and you do get to do that. But someone comes to you and says, by the way, I want this. Okay,
Yes.
I can help with that one.
We're a society. When we want something, we want to tick the box and get it. So we're
Yeah,
used to going online. We're used to looking for things online. And so OnPassive will make it easy. And those customers will be targeted and you'll be very specific. So for example, for yourself, you might be looking for expats, British people. And for a financial advisor in part of Canada might want people in their own region. So that's
absolutely.
a big
And you can.
advantage.
Yeah, so if you have an advisor, like you said, in Canada, they just want clients in Canada and they want a specific niche market, that's perfect. It'll allow the system to be able to create something specific for you in your specific area. From an international advisor's point of view, and I would class myself as such, having been abroad for so long, your market is open. You can go wherever.
Yes.
As long as you have the relevant licensing in that particular environment that you're in, great. So you could spread your net wide and far, or far and wide even. So far and wide. So it's not just the US, for instance. We could, if we wanted to deal in Europe, we could go to the Middle East, we could go to South America. Perfect. You can have leads coming in through the door day in, day out. Now,
Mhm.
from an advisor's point of view, rather than from the company's point of view, think
Mhm.
about it like this: if most advisors that work for other companies have to pay a considerable percentage for the company to provide them with um,
Leads.
leads. Yeah. Okay. So as an individual, you win on two fronts. First of all, you're now obtaining leads for yourself. So you're
Mhm.
cutting out that middleman and you're getting paid more for it. But secondly, you're also building your own business at the same time, and you could take that business elsewhere if you move somewhere else. But
Yes,
um,
good point. You don't
but
have to leave the list with the company.
absolutely, and more importantly, you're also building a second income, if you like, from OnPassive. So, I mean, I've worked for a lot of different companies over the years, and I mean a lot in different areas and different environments and what have you. And I've put a considerable sum under management, a considerable sum under management over those 35 years. I get nothing out of it. I've lost a lot because the companies you've worked for have kept it. They're the ones getting the reward. I get nothing because I've now left the company. So
Right.
so from an individual's point of view, you have the capability, if you like, to not only set up your own business, and there are lots of agencies these days that allow you to work as an individual, but utilize the licensing. So from that point of view, you've got hundreds of thousands of financial advisors around the globe. This would suit them down to the ground because now I can advertise for my business very cheaply. Now, my colleague in the States regularly pays £2,500 to £3,000 a month to obtain leads. Okay, so yeah, you pay $97 and then you pay a monthly subscription, and that monthly subscription then covers your advertising costs. But it's far more cost effective than going through the process. Now, when I wanted to put leads together myself, I approached a company. They would put the capture page together with a sales funnel, email marketing, etc. They would keep the data, not me, but they wanted 25,000. It was 15,000 to set it up and another 10 to go towards the
Wow.
advertising. And one of my colleagues, he is now, must be now up to nearly 200,000 he has spent on advertising to obtain specific clients.
Wow.
Now
Wow.
you know,
And I just want
this,
to bring it back, Andy. You mentioned paying monthly. For those of you looking at this video, you don't actually pay after the first month activation. You're not paying that monthly fee. It's coming out of commissions from customers for OnPassive. So the monthly fee is not coming out of your pocket. So as a founder, you're going to join once as a founder and then once to activate when we go live to the world. So there's not an ongoing fee out of your pocket. So it's absolutely, there's no comparison to people out there constantly buying solo ads and advertising over and over again. So go ahead, Andy. Sorry, I just wanted to clear that up.
yeah, no problem. As I said, people in the industry, if they run a business, they're spending hundreds of thousands a year just on advertising. We can, a fraction of that cost and drive far better targeted traffic towards our businesses with clients looking specifically for things.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So you are on fire, but OnPassive.
Absolutely.
you,
Well, I've
you
had the kind
understand
of
it.
light bulb moment. I suppose there is, I signed up January or registered January last year, and then it kind of took me 4 months to actually have a look at things and get a little bit into depth. And then now that I fully understand it, I'm like,
Yeah, you're like a kid. You're
yeah,
like a kid.
kid in a
Oh, for
candy
sure.
store. It's great.
For sure.
So, but yeah, I mean, my colleagues come on board, and he is specifically going to use this for the business. From my point of view, now that I've had that light bulb moment, my financial services days are numbered. But
And
as
why is that? For those
um,
watching don't understand that there's not only that are the tools amazingly affordable and the traffic, but now let's talk about why would you give up your financial career, your financial advising career? Why would you do that?
Well, as I said, I've worked for a number of companies over the years and placed a large sum of money under management over those years and not got a bean for it, which would have given me a retirement, a healthy retirement, maybe 10 years ago, but hasn't. So I was looking to find something that would increase the number of leads, as I said originally. But having then looked at this and thinking, well, okay, I can turn this into my own business. So OnPassive becomes my business from the point of view that I need to build my customer base, but it then becomes a residual income. So again, going back to the financial advisor's point of view, yes, I could have more leads for this, and yes, this is great. So this would then be an additional extra. And from an additional extras point of view, I've then got a secondary income coming in, which then grows. Now, I'm a figures guy because I'm a financial advisor. So I've done the maths and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, well, let me give you an example. I had one particular case that started in September 2019. I was paid it in February this year.
Wow.
Right. um, we've
Always a
had
delay. Yeah.
well, we've had problems with the pandemic and I won't go into it, but bottom line is, I constantly having to wait for income to come in, because you only get paid once the business is cleared, issued, and up and running.
Yeah.
So looking at OnPassive, every time a customer comes on board, there's money goes into your wallet, and you can draw that if you want to, or you can leave it for the month and let it build up.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, well, if I do this, and this, and I do that regularly from now on, how big can I get my group? How big can I get my customer base? And as if you think about it, there are roughly 600,000 founders odd that we've got, and Ash has already said we anticipate taking on 100 million customers in the first year. All right, we're still just over 0.5% of the first year. I mean,
The
what,
numbers are astronomical. Sharon, do you
absolutely.
want to add to that?
Yeah, and I think, Andy, you know, your customers, when you're talking to your clients, I mean, do they understand what residual income is? Because a lot of people, do financial advisors talk about that ever? Because I don't know if I don't know if they would, or if they could, and if they did, what would they recommend? Because there's not a
Well,
lot
there's
out there, is there?
no, there isn't. From a, let's put it this way, financial advisors can be rather egotistical. So at the end of the day, what the best way of putting it is, listen, Mr. Financial Advisor, if you want another income so that the reliance upon your clients or your business issuing in time, this is another opportunity. But by the way, you can also advertise for your business at the same time, cutting down the cost from the company so you get more commission. So this is a win-win situation. Think about it. And by the way, if you move company and aren't able to take your clients with you, and you lose your residual income from the money under management that you had, you haven't lost it, because at the end of the day, OnPassive will provide it for you. So it is a win-win situation. Now, how many
Yes.
financial advisors are there across the globe outside of the UK? I'm not talking about the UK for the time being. You know, as I said, in Dubai alone, there has to be at least 2,500 of these, and they are fighting for business. It's an expensive place to live,
Yeah.
so you have residual bills, and when it's summer, your electricity bills goes through the roof, because you've got to have the air conditioning going day in, day out, 24/7. Okay, so you could spend £1,500 a month just on electricity to run the
Wow.
yeah. So okay, so so if I had the opportunity to grab some of these financial advisors by the scruff of the neck and shake them until they understood, it would be fabulous, because it is a win-win situation. You're going to get new clients. You're going to build your own um, uh, residual income, taking the reliance from the business that you're doing. So if you have a bad patch, and let's face it, we all do, but the pandemic has created a bad patch for a lot of advisors. And I
Mhm.
know of several that have got to the stage where their business has almost gone to zero because of what's gone on last year. They can't go and visit clients. Everything
Yeah.
has to be done over the phone. And for certain types of business, you lose that face-to-face possibility of obtaining a sale, because everything's over the phone. You can't get these facial expressions in. You can't implore to clients exactly what the situation is, because you're not in front of them. So a lot of them have struggled. This
Yes.
is a win-win situation from both perspectives, not only their business, but also the secondary income that they would acquire from this.
And
Well,
I
so
could,
oh, sorry.
I was just going to say that when you did have face to face, say I came to your house, Sharon, and I said, oh, well, let's look at your situation. You probably have the documents ready. They're right there. We open them up. We have a look. You can really get to the point quicker. Whereas you're talking, oh, well, I got to find them, and then I got to get them, and then I got to scan them. And there's just more delays, more delays, more delays, more procrastination. So, and also, a lot of people have dipped into a lot of their savings. If they own a business, if they own any
Yep,
kind of hospitality industry, if they're in that industry, it's really taken a hit on a lot of those people. So again, their savings, and then
absolutely.
they're not looking at investing more. They're looking at, how do I survive? But sorry,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And there are so many clients now that are looking at that. So there's a part of the business, part of our business that's pretty much stopped, I would imagine. And that part of the business certainly is the savings for retirement or for education fees. Let's bin those for the short term while we get back on our feet because of what's happened. So all these people that have had jobs, and I know hundreds now that have had jobs, they've been in certain positions. So some some of the guys working in Saudi, for instance, they went on holiday, but weren't allowed back in the country because of COVID and the lockdown, and haven't been allowed back to work. So they are now not being paid, but they're,
Oh,
yeah, so they're just, that's it, job done, gone. So they have to look at something else. So you know, and honestly, the Middle East is a law unto itself almost. So it's very difficult to acquire clients. So the more people in the Middle East, in particular, the advisors in the Middle East are looking for business elsewhere, but with the capability of not then having to travel.
right,
So
right.
things like, so the tools like OConnect and the other tools that we're going to have access to are going to make their lives a lot easier, aren't they?
All of the tools that
Exactly, all of them.
we have are going to make
All of the
a
tools.
huge difference, absolute huge difference. You know, just um, I work for a company, but I want my own leads, so I can set up my own domain name to obtain leads for the business that I work through. So I can link the two together. That's fine, but this is done. So then, as I said, you've got the domain name, the website. These are your property. So the clients come in through that loop. So they become your clients. So then you've got the email marketing, the sales funnels, etc., etc. That's great as well. You've got the OTrim that can then track what's going on with the advertising. Fantastic. And then you've got the likes of OConnect, which is the jewel in the crown, from the point of view that now I've got this face to face back again from a
Yeah.
client perspective, so I can gauge what he's thinking. And realistically, I know this is, it's even got distraction detection, so I can tell whether the client's paying attention or not.
And the languages too.
Yeah, absolutely. So so technically you've got pretty much all of the products within the range that are going to be or could be used by, certainly with someone within my industry, and to their advantage, massive
And the
advantage.
one thing that we don't really touch on a lot is the fact, like, let's just say you got a client via your email marketing or your advertising through OnPassive, and they come in to maybe look at you, they've looked at your web page, so they're on your list. But what do they get? They get a 7-day free trial of everything that we own. So that's kind of like the window. It's like giving people the whole of the shopping mall and then saying all the doors shut apart from one. So that's going to be another way of them joining your OnPassive business as well.
Well, yeah, again, take it one step further. I've got clients. We have to be able to communicate with clients. So from an email perspective, I want the confidentiality of being able to send an email to my clients. You don't get that with normal Gmail, etc., but you will do with the email service through OnPassive. So now I'm telling all my clients, every single one of them, by the way, here's a 7-day free trial for this. Just the confidentiality that you're going to get with the email service, the video conferencing services, etc., are worth it for this. But by the way, if you join or if you become part of this and allow the company to advertise for you, they will cover your monthly cost within the first month, because they will provide 3 customers for you. So you don't have to do anything. But because you're my customer, now I've got the OConnect side of things. I've also got the confidential email marketing, etc. All of my clients would use it as well. So if you've got a company like, I'm not going to mention any names, one of the largest offshore companies has bases in over 70 countries around the globe. They have somewhere in the region of about 7 or 8 billion under management. You can imagine the number of clients they've got.
Oof.
Okay, that's one company. Now, yes, it is a large company at the end of the day, but if they offered this service to all of the customers just for the confidentiality email side of things, the income or the revenue generated from from OnPassive would be able to pay their advisors bonuses for achieving certain levels,
Mhm.
holidays or whatever, or company cars, or it's
It's endless.
massive.
It is massive.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely massive. So I would love to be able to approach some of these companies. I know the CEOs of several of the larger companies, but I know that they will say no.
Why? Why do you think they'll say no?
Ego.
We can do it better,
Yeah, exactly that. I can do it better. I don't need your help.
right? But it's interesting, people that say no to OnPassive, down the road, they'll be drawn to OnPassive because they'll want it. They're going to find out later, and they'll wish they would have taken action sooner.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
people that pass it up, they have no idea what they're passing up.
No, they don't.
No.
They seem to think, you're getting a business for $97. Um, as I said before, this chap wanted 25,000 odd to set this thing up for me, but which was not going to guarantee anything. But at the end of the day, it was 25,000 in total. So if you think about it, OnPassive is paying 24,900, and I'm paying the 100.
Exactly.
Okay, but
The same,
and now,
same or better,
yeah.
actually better.
And now what I'm doing is I'm paying a monthly subscription. Now, you mentioned this earlier. So once I've got 3 customers, I no longer have to worry about that monthly subscription, which I keep paying, but it's now covered by the commissions that are coming in from the customer base that I now have. Now,
Yeah.
this is genius, absolute pure genius. Think about this. There are 600,000 of us so far, and he's setting up a company for every single one of us. So every single one of us will be paying, and we're never going to leave. Once you're in, you're in. So again, going back to the financial advisor's point of view, once he starts to see the income coming in just from OnPassive, he's going to go, what else can I do to add to that? How can I get
Yes.
more customers coming in? Oh my God, why am I fighting for a couple of £1,000 on a commission case when I'm getting £10,000 a month coming in, or $10,000 a month coming in from something that I set up just to get more leads?
And what would be the pleasure? You'd be able to play golf. You're free. You're not phoning and hassling people and hoping that last piece of paperwork gets in so you finally get paid, and the bureaucracy and the politics. Let's face it, this OnPassive will help anyone in any business. But
Okay,
if you're a founder, you'll get to the point where you're not going to want to do your job. You're going to enjoy the residual income from OnPassive. So if you're
absolutely.
watching this before we go live to the world, good on you, become a founder. And if you're watching it after, you can still become a reseller, which is amazing too.
Absolutely.
And you can do really well because people in financial services, they're used to approaching people, selling and talking. And so if they see this video down the road and we're already live, they can easily buy the full suite, become a reseller, and after 3 customers, it's paid for. You're in the bonus. So
Yeah. Now,
amazing.
the other thing that is really key to the financial services side of things is we have teams within the company. So there are coordinators that make phone calls and make appointments for us based on leads that they've acquired, or that have come in through the company. So if the company is advertising, these guys get to phone these potential customers to book appointments for us as financial advisors. So and these guys are the ones that don't earn quite as much, but
Right.
again, there are thousands of them.
Oh,
So from the perspective of a coordinator or even an administrator, you can make your own money and get your own leads coming in. So again, you can turn around to the company and say, you're not paying me enough, I'm going to take my leads to someone who will pay me enough. And by the way, I've got an income coming in anyway, because all of these are customers, and I've got a residual income coming in from OnPassive. So, and these are the guys that struggle more than anything. And the turnover of coordinators in the business is massive offshore,
oh, well,
massive.
it's a trying job. It would be
Yeah.
very, you're
It,
constantly getting a lot of rejection, and and it's all about numbers, right? So you've got a phone, and look at stock. I was thinking about the movie with Will Smith, when he was being a stockbroker.
Yeah, yeah.
And right. And so
Boiler
you
room.
just, yeah, you're on that phone, and you're dialing for dollars, and you might have to go through 100 before you can get that one person. And then you get someone that says yes, and maybe they have no net worth.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got like $10,000 to invest. Whoop-de-doo, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a tough biz. It is.
You have to
Yeah.
collect no's. We were told we weren't allowed to go home until you got 25 no's. There's always some idiot that says, "Yeah, I'll have an appointment." You go, no.
And
If
I
you
think
wanted to go and golf, that's what
Yeah,
that's what's
yeah,
happening.
And
Yeah.
I think people do underestimate the value of having leads, because that is, we always talk about the money is in the list. And that is really true, because I built many businesses myself purely by having an email list. So a lot of businesses don't collect leads. They may have a CRM system, but it's not geared to gathering the leads initially, if you like yourself. And a lot of companies can't afford a CRM system because they're complicated, and sometimes they work out to be expensive. So with OnPassive, you're going to get a CRM, you're going to get emails, you're going to have ways of communicating to people. It's going to be amazing. And that's what I think financial advisors probably miss out on really a lot.
Mhm.
absolutely.
Mhm.
But it's
So
everyone within the company could benefit. So
Yeah, exactly.
and coordinators in particular, I think they're definitely missing a trick, because they're the ones that need the income more than the financial advisors do.
mhm.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it's going to be amazing.
Oh, to sum it up, OnPassive can help anyone in any industry. But when we talk about financial advisors, it's just like real estate or anything where it's straight commission. And if you get a draw from the company, it's going to come out of the money you will make. So it's feast or famine. You have to make
Absolutely.
money, and you're not. But then the ceiling is lifted, so you're able to. You're not set at a certain price and a salary, but it can be very nerve wracking, and the pressure is always on. What am I going to do this month? What are the numbers? Oh my God, does my boss think it's okay? Or how am I arranging and all the people in my office? Whew.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is why I think, from a financial advisor's point of view, it's not a regular income. It
No.
becomes
Sporadic.
disjointed and dependent upon the actual provider sorting out and making the business issue, or turning the business around so that it does issue in order for you to get paid, can take months. So by having a regular residual income coming in, it becomes a
Oh.
no-brainer. And I just you just want to grab them by the shirt and shake them,
And
Yeah.
there must be also, Andy, I mean, there must be a ceiling as to how much a financial advisor can actually earn, because you've only got 24 hours in a day, and you might only want to work, I mean, you don't want to work 24 hours, do you? So you're going to have to sleep. So, there must be a ceiling, whereas like you say, residual income it keeps on going whether you sleep, you're on holiday, you're on the golf course. I think people don't get that. They don't understand what residual income is a lot of the time.
Nobody really understands it. From a financial advisor's point of view, if you saw 8 appointments in a week, then certainly in the Middle East, you'd be on 150,000 a year.
Mhm.
Wow.
Try getting in front of 8 people a week.
A week. That is very
Right?
hard to do. Very hard.
Absolutely, because people cancel, they've got meetings that they've been called into.
Well, and to
You'd be lucky.
get the 8, how many calls, and when you put those in the funnel, did you start with 50 to get 8, or was it 200 to get 8? Right?
You need to speak to roughly, well, cold calling certainly always used to be, you'd need to speak to 20 people to get an appointment.
To get
Speak
one
to,
appointment.
yeah,
And
Yeah,
that's
to
not
get one.
necessarily and that's not a sale, that's just an appointment. It might
that's
not
just an
be a
appointment.
sale.
No.
Mhm.
So from a coordinator's point of view, they would have to make 140 calls a day.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Those are
And
the
it's
numbers.
mind numbing.
Mm.
It is.
Our
And
boss
it
used
wears
to
you down.
make them stand up to make the call. So they'd be walking either end of the desk up and down while they're on the call. but
Oh,
everybody's now are looking for different ways to acquire clients. So the obvious one are things like LinkedIn. So the first port of call for any new coordinator is to go straight to LinkedIn, set up an account, and start asking people to connect. Again, mind numbing.
Yeah.
Make
oh,
things easy. Work hard. Don't work hard. Work smart.
yes.
Yeah.
What?
$97.
$97. Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
I
Oh,
think, Andy, what the
and
big problem is, it's $97. If it was 9,997, they might actually take it more seriously.
right.
That's the problem.
Perhaps, but there's hundreds of thousands of people out there looking for the perfect home-based business.
And this is it.
My buddy has worked in the city all his life, and he works for an insurance company. He's on the computer side of things. Now, this last year, he's been working from home remotely, but he saves himself £650 a month just on the train fare.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
incredible. So if simplify things, this is a business for you. If yes, it's $97, forget that for the moment. Actually engage, look at what's going on behind the scenes, ask questions. If you're really serious about wanting to retire early, and boy am I serious, you know
We are there.
yeah, if you really are serious about wanting to have a second income that will take over from your first and give you that financial freedom, then why the hell don't you watch videos, look, listen, learn, ask questions? I just don't get it. I really don't.
Mm.
And
And it's interesting. We almost need to find the people that are forward thinking and they're curious and they're motivated, because a lot of people, if statistically, they're willing to just keep doing the same thing and getting the same results,
it's bizarre, isn't
right?
it?
Yeah. So, and there you go. So that's the path you're choosing, and it's a long. I just spoke to someone yesterday, and she said, "No, I'm not really interested." And I responded, and I said, "Well, I wish you all the best, and just so you know, hard work for a lot of years, it's so overrated." Right? On passive is giving us a gift. It's the way. Artificial intelligence is here. It's here to stay. Internet marketing, leads, funnels, and automation, it's here to stay. So either you're on the train or you're not. Why I just don't understand when people don't want something that will make your life easier and the owner's sharing the profits. Are you kidding me?
And I
This
think that's
company.
the hardest
Oh,
part to actually believe, or for people to believe. You've got the likes of Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg, etc. And this chap that's the Gupta, the Iron Man,
mhm.
he's got iron plants in the UK. He's just borrowed or just got from the government 173 million or something to keep his plants going, but he's the fourth or fifth richest person in the world. Uh, you know, like Ash has said, and if you only have to listen to one of his webinars and one of him speaking to actually understand that this man has heart. He's
Oh,
more interested in helping others. He's sorted, so he's not bothered. And the interesting thing about, once we get engaged with what's going on with OnPassive, we no longer think or worry about ourselves. We're on to, where do we go from here? Who else can we help? So
yes.
Exactly.
my list of friends and family are kind of growing, because all of these guys have said, nah, I'm not interested in that. It sounds like a pyramid scheme. Fair enough. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, with
You mean
buildings and
like,
On the
800
list.
staff
Yeah.
and 50 online products. What a pyramid. Carry
you
Yeah.
like
on.
you mean like
Yeah.
the pension scheme? That one, that pyramid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And taxes were
Unbelievable.
supposed to be temporary.
Yeah.
What
Well,
happened
no,
to that
yeah,
idea?
exactly. Yeah. National
Yeah,
insurance and poll tax, they were supposed to be temporary.
right, right. Wow, Andy, what a great interview. Really great to just hear your perspective. And it, like you said, you just want to grab them by the shoulders and shake them and say, take a look, right? So what's the parting message you want to give people in your industry of how important it is to take a very good look at OnPassive?
If you want to make things easy for yourself or easier, this business is hard enough getting in front of people or getting to talk to people as it is. And once you get to talk to people, it's not necessarily guaranteed that you're going to make a sale. So make your life easier, get lots of leads coming in. And by the way, get a secondary income coming in that covers it in case you don't make the sale. And for those of you that are making phone calls day on day and looking for new leads, try an easier way, because there is.
And Andy, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, obviously to have a discussion, maybe they're expats or they just want some, financial advice from somebody that they can trust, because obviously you're a member of our wider community, so we all trust each other. We're all of the same mindset. How can they contact you? Was it a website or an email, or what's the best way?
Best way is via email. It's andyb2590@gmail.com.
And they just say that they've seen your video from the OnPassive video. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel with quite a few, and I've borrowed a couple of Suzanne's.
That's okay. I don't mind.
No,
I don't mind.
There's quite a few on there, and most of those will have my email address attached to them. Some don't, some do, but by all means, or look me up on Facebook. I'm here to help at the end of the day. We're all in this together, and this is the only company I've ever come across where everybody wants to help each other. It's an amazing family. We speak to, as I said, Suzanne, I've been watching and listening to your videos. I feel like I know you already. We've never met before.
That's great. Great.
It does. It becomes this big family, with Red and Marty and Mike and Dan and all of the other guys in the UK and Ireland team. It's just great fun, and I've never really had that before in financial services. It's all of this.
Yeah, because you're all, I suppose in the financial services game, you're all competing, aren't you, for the same deal?
Absolutely.
Yeah, where there is no competition really, because we all want to build our own team at some point, but the collective is we're all going to the same cause, which is
we all know that even someone that joins OnPassive doesn't tell a soul. They too will be successful and have a passive income. So that is so nice. The pressure's off. You don't have to do a thing. If you want to use the products, great. If you don't, that's fine too. So it suits anyone and everyone. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, I mean, in the UAE, for instance, you've got 350,000 potential customers. And there's 2,500 guys after those 350,000. We've got a customer base, or a potential customer base, of 4.6 billion.
Yeah, exactly.
It's huge.
And Andy, I think after OnPassive goes live, you'll have a lot of expats moving to different countries.
Yeah.
They'll all need some help, I think.
Yeah,
definitely.
I rather like Antigua, I must admit. I'm up for Antigua, but
Barbados for me.
Yeah, Barbados isn't that far away.
Oh, good. Well, I'll meet both of you there. Yeah, that sounds great. Oh, that's good.
Oh, thank you, Andy. It's been amazing listening to you. I loved every minute of it, and we will be obviously having more conversations. We'll be able to come back in 6 months, 12 months, and do another version of this to see where we're all at. And we've already mentioned this on a few of our other calls. We might even be able to do some kind of a book or a film of the OnPassive journey. I can imagine at some point in the future there will be some kind of thing like that. But yeah, it's been lovely. So thank you so much. If you've got any questions, obviously just reach out and ask us, and we'll be in touch anyway.
Yes. It's been great. Thank you.
Really like that. Thank you.
Great.